What's up, guys? So, hold on a second. I'm going to do a video on whether or not your BMX bike is too heavy or not. I feel like I have a right to do this because I've ridden bikes from like 19 pounds to my current bike, which is 35 something. I think it's 35.7, but none of that shit matters. So, I want to start this with if your bike is under 32 pounds, don't complain because that's not too heavy. If you can't lift that, you just need to keep riding, you'll get used to the bike. It's that simple. And then when you do get a light bike, I mean, you're really good because you've been throwing on a heavy bike. But I personally like heavy bikes. Sorry, I take a lot of deep breaths. I don't have a lot of air. My name's Kenny, by the way. So anyway, if your bike is above, say, 32 pounds, there's benefits to a heavy bike. Like, if you're on a light bike and you hop it, you don't have as much control in the air as you might think. But then when you land it also, your landings are kind of sloppy and the bike kind of like wiggles when it hits the ground. I apologize for my camera quality because it's on my phone. It's really terrible. I don't actually have a good camera yet. So anyway, when you land on a light bike, it's really imbalanced and sometimes you land sloppy. It makes fakies kind of hard because you're not faking straight because your front tires want to slide if you fakey like I do. I lean back a little far and I do Indian giver, so I've got really crappy fakies as it is. But my personal bike is 35 pounds, and I used to think it was like way too heavy, but I actually like it. I think the heavy bike is the way to go because you use more balance and you have more control. Once you start spinning, the bike kind of spins for you because it's so heavy. It also makes it really easy to fakie because I have a tendency to lean back, and so my front tire skids a lot when I fakie. It depends on your style of riding. If you want to ride a lot of park, then you can go either way. If you ride a heavy bike on park, you'll have smoother landings and a little bit more control, but you'll also be able to get less air and you'll come down a little faster. Whereas if you ride a light bike, you get a lot more control on the ground. Like, I don't know how to describe that. You get a lot more like powerful control, whereas with like a heavy bike, you don't quite get that same kind of control. Except on a heavy bike, you can carve a lot harder because it has no chance of the tires sliding out. Whereas on a light bike, the tires will slide every once in a while because it doesn't have quite the weight that a heavy bike does. And on a light bike, you also can come down slower because it's lighter, and you're also higher up in the air usually because you can pull up harder. But weight doesn't really matter. If you have like a short set of bars, then running a lighter bike is your friend. But if you have like a huge set of bars, like 10-inch rise, you can ride a bike like from 26 pounds to like 35, and you won't have a single problem. Like, it's not that bad. I started on a Nerve Hypnotic, which personally was like 38. Sorry, my camera cut out, but the Nerve was about 38 pounds. I never really had much trouble with it. Like, it kind of hurt my back after a little while because I ran short bars. But once I got a bigger set of bars, I didn't really have a problem. And I personally like the heavy bike more. It just feels better for me. But my favorite thing about it was like when I was learning fakies, I didn't have the trouble of like turning the bars and my tire sliding around. It was like all traction all the time, which I really liked. That's why I like the heavy bike now, is because it keeps my front tire balanced. So if you have a heavy bike, one, you should get high rise bars. And the other thing is rolling weight means more than anything. Rolling weight is like your wheel weight. If you have a heavy set of tires attached to a heavy set of rims, your bike will feel like a tank. It will hurt your back. It feels miserable. Weight on your wheels is the most weight you will feel. You get a lighter set of rims, lighter set of tires, your bike will feel like super light, even though it's not. Mine's 35 pounds. I personally think it's like 26 feeling because my rims are real light. I got Cinemas, good rims. But rolling weight is the most weight you'll feel on your bike. So if you want to lighten up your bike, you should get lighter rims and tires and things like that. But again, all of that, if your bike's under 35 pounds, 35 or under, you should just get used to it because that feels the best. Because when you run to a bike that's too light, you'll jump too high or something like that. You'll loop out more. You'll pull the front end too far up. I run dual 14 mil axles, which is the heaviest thing, and I still love it. Like, I feel like weight doesn't actually matter as much as everybody thinks. So your bike probably isn't too heavy. And actually, if you weigh it, you'll find out that like a bike you think weighs like 35 is probably only like 26. So just keep that in mind. When buying a bike, you should aim for things that are around like, you probably want about 21 to 35 pounds. That's like a good weight. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. You'll be able to learn to jump on it, which is a balancing control. I found that a heavy bike helps me fakie real well, gives me a lot of control. That's just my personal belief. It really, a lot of the times, depends on the rider. If you like a heavy bike, that's just you. If you like a light bike, that's just you. That's just your personal choice. You'll learn what you like over your time of riding. But if your bike feels heavy, you shouldn't worry about it. You'll get used to it. It'll make you a better rider in the end to ride a heavy bike. And when it comes to like street, you really kind of want like a lightish heavy bike. You want something that's still balanced, but something that's not so heavy you can't lift it and so light you can't land it. Like there's a balance. You just got to find that balance. It depends on the type of rider you are. That's about it. Thanks for watching.